Imagine you're dying of thirst 40,000 years ago. You've been walking for hours under a brutal sun. Your mouth feels like sandpaper. Your head is pounding. Every step takes more effort than the last. Then, finally, you find water. A small pool sitting quietly between a few rocks. The problem? You have absolutely no idea if that water will save your life or kill you. There are no filters, no bottled water, no laboratories, no warning signs, no way to see the parasites, bacteria, or diseases hiding inside a single sip. And yet somehow, ancient humans survived. Not only did they survive, they crossed deserts, endured ice ages, explored unknown continents, and spread across nearly every corner of Earth. So how did they do it? How did ancient humans figure out which water was safe to drink when they didn't even know germs existed? The answer is one of the most impressive survival stories in human history. The first thing to understand is that ancient humans weren't ignorant. They were incredibly observant. Modern people trust technology. Ancient people trusted patterns. If someone drank from a certain pond and got sick, people remembered. If a stream consistently provided safe water year after year, people remembered that too. Human beings evolved as survival experts. Our ancestors spent their entire lives paying attention to tiny details because missing one could mean death. Over thousands of years, they noticed that flowing water was usually safer than stagnant water. A stream rushing over rocks looked cleaner, smelled fresher, and generally caused fewer illnesses than a still pool filled with insects and decaying plants. They couldn't see microorganisms, but they could see results. Ancient humans also learned to watch animals. Birds often gathered near reliable water sources. Herds of deer followed predictable routes to rivers and springs. If multiple animal trails converged in one direction, there was a good chance water was nearby. But they didn't just follow animals. They watched which animals looked healthy and which places seemed full of life. Every clue mattered. They also learned to read the landscape itself. Green vegetation in a dry area could signal hidden groundwater. Valleys often collected water after rain. Certain trees and plants could reveal moisture beneath the surface. Long before maps existed, humans became experts at reading nature like a giant survival guide. Then came one of the most important discoveries in human history: fire. Most people think fire changed humanity because it allowed cooking, but it may have done something even more important. It made water safer. At some point, ancient humans likely noticed something strange. Water heated over a fire seemed less likely to make people sick. They had no idea they were killing microorganisms. They simply observed that the outcome was better. Think about how revolutionary that discovery would have been. Suddenly, water from questionable sources became less dangerous. Entire groups could travel farther from reliable rivers and survive in places that were previously too risky. Fire wasn't just protection from cold nights and predators. It may have been humanity's first water treatment system. But finding water was often harder than cleaning it. During droughts, rivers dried up and lakes shrank. Ancient humans became surprisingly creative. They followed animal tracks because every living creature eventually needs water. In some regions, they dug shallow holes in dry riverbeds and waited for water to slowly seep through the sand. Others collected rainwater trapped inside natural rock basins. Coastal groups relied on streams flowing from inland mountains. Some desert cultures learned how to locate underground moisture in places that appeared completely lifeless to outsiders. Every environment required different solutions, and humans adapted to all of them. That's the real secret behind this story. Ancient humans didn't survive because they were lucky. They survived because knowledge accumulated. Every mistake became a lesson. Every discovery became a survival tool. Someone drank from the wrong source and got sick. Someone else found a safer stream. Someone noticed that boiled water seemed less dangerous. Those lessons were passed from generation to generation through stories, observation, and teaching long before writing existed. The deeper you look into human history, the more remarkable our ancestors become. They lived in a world where one bad drink could determine whether you saw another sunrise. Yet they crossed continents, survived extreme climates, and adapted to forests, deserts, mountains, and frozen landscapes. They did all of that without science, without technology, and without understanding the invisible dangers hidden inside a drop of water. What they did have was curiosity, observation, memory, and an extraordinary ability to learn from experience. Those abilities transformed a vulnerable primate into the most adaptable species on Earth. In many ways, the history of humanity is the history of finding water. Every major migration, every settlement, and eventually every civilization depended on it. So the next time you turn on a faucet or open a bottle of water without thinking twice, remember this. For most of human history, safe drinking water wasn't a convenience. It was one of the greatest survival challenges our species ever faced. And somehow, against incredible odds, our ancestors figured it out.